sweet-scented water foaming with green bubbles. A green rubber duck popped into existence, sending green droplets flying into the air. "I won't be needing that, but thank you," I told it, and obediently the water drained out of the tub and the duck vanished. I sat cautiously on the bed, hoping the oil from my joints wouldn't stain the soft coverlet. I wanted to make the best possible impression. At home, I preferred to sleep upright in a wooden cabinet. Dorothy would want to see me right away, of course. Why else had she invited me? It would only be a matter of moments before she'd come to my chambers herself. But she didn't. The only possible explanation was that she didn't know I was in the palace, and so the next morning I oiled my joints quickly and made sure the tin of my face and chest was brightly polished before I set out in search of her. I cornered the first munchkin I saw, this one cleaning an already sparkling window with a bucket of water in which several small, brightly colored fish swam about cheerfully. "I must get a message to Dorothy at once," I burst out. She turned around in surprise. "Who?" she began, and then she recognized me, and her irritated expression changed to a smile. She gave a little curtsy. "Oh, hello, sir. I wish I could help you, but you have to understand how important this is. Dorothy has to be informed that I'm here. I must see her." Now she just looked confused. "But, sir," she said politely, "Dorothy does know you're here. She's aware of all the guests that have arrived. Would you like to see the Scarecrow or the lion while you wait for the banquet tonight? They got to the palace just yesterday as well." I gaped at her. Dorothy knew I was here? But why hadn't she sent for me? The servant looked at me almost pityingly. "I know Dorothy and Her Majesty Ozma have been very busy preparing for the banquet," she added. "I'm afraid I can't help you, sir." She turned back to her window. What could Dorothy possibly be doing to prepare for a banquet that was so important that she couldn't see me? I thought about looking for the Scarecrow or the lion, but it was Dorothy I was desperate to see, and I didn't want to share my disappointment with anyone. How could she possibly have failed to summon me if she already knew I was at the palace? Was there a chance she didn't want to see me as badly as I wanted to see her? Surely not. But nevertheless, doubt began to creep in at the corners of my mind. In dismay, I returned to my chambers, where I summoned the Winky coachman and spent the afternoon with him playing chess. I was so distracted, I kept thinking we were playing checkers instead, and the pieces obligingly transformed from rooks and pawns to checkers counters. The coachman let me win anyway. Finally, it was time to get ready for the banquet. I carefully re-oiled my joints and summoned a maid to polish me to a blinding glow. When she could see her own reflection in my patchworked tin chest, she curtsied and began to leave. But I stopped her. "You are my sun, my moon, my starlit sky," I proclaimed, testing the word's effect. "I beg your pardon, sir?" the maid asked politely. "Oh, it's hopeless," I said miserably, sinking into a chair and burying my face in my tin palms. "Absolutely hopeless. I don't know how to tell her. I don't know the right thing to say." "To whom, sir?" "To Dorothy," I mumbled into my fingers. "It has to be exactly right, so that she knows how I feel, but it can't sound desperate. She has to see me as dashing, and I want to remind her of everything we shared and tell her how beautiful she is and how special and how noble and generous and sweet and good and—" The maid pulled up another chair. "If you don't mind some advice, sir," she said. "That's an awful lot to try to fit into one hello. Why don't you just be yourself?" I lifted my head and stared at her. "What do you mean, be myself?"